What's up gamers, it's your boy, JKon. Welcome to another episode of Pros and Cons. Today, we'll be talking about The Mandalorian Season 3. Be warned, there are spoilers ahead. Let's get into it. Starting off with the pros, I love how the Western theme that The Mandalorian is based on is continued to be maintained throughout this season. If you have been following The Mandalorian so far, it is a show that is kind of based off of old spaghetti westerns. So having that Western theme kind of maintain and exist throughout the show itself is really nice, and I appreciate that. One of the scenes that stands out to me the most is when Mando returns to Navarro, which was the city that the Mandalorians used to reside under. Back then, it used to be a lawless frontier land, but now it has transitioned into a trade city that is on the up and up to be good. But unfortunately, not every pirate got the news for that. So Mando kind of had to step in a little bit and had a little high noon showdown.
It's high noon.
And how to put the pirates in his place. And, you know, I just appreciate that because it continues to maintain the theme that the show really built its identity off of from the beginning. So I'm a big fan of that. Another pro that I was a really big fan of is, of course, Grogu. Grogu is so back. If you can see on the top of my head, I'm a big Grogu fan. Of course, how can you not be a Grogu fan? If you have not watched the Book of Boba Fett, there has been a little bit of plot / background story that has been filled out since then, so I'll fill you in here now. At the end of season 2 of The Mandalorian, Grogu was taken away by Luke to go be trained to become a Jedi, because of course we know he's got Force powers. But during the Book of Boba Fett, he decided that he really did not want to be a Jedi anymore, and he wanted to return to be with Din Djarin and become a Mandalorian. So he reunites with Din Djarin after getting some Force training with Luke, and they are now reunited, and here we are at the beginning of season 3 of The Mandalorian. So now in season 3, he has decided that he wants to become a foundling and enter the cult of the Mandalore. After he has become a foundling, he has decided to enter a duel, and getting into this duel, he's against another foundling, and they have these little paintball dart shooters that you have on the wrist, like the pew pew pew, you know, classic Mandalore stuff. Anyways, during that duel, he got to show off a little bit of his schmoves and get to flex on the other foundling. He got a style on him, showed off some force jumps, and just absolutely decimated that dude and just blah 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 blasted that guy to the dirt. Great scene. Great showcase of his new training and advancements. And because he won his first duel, Grogu was able to get his first piece of armor. He got the drip now, and it looks nice. You know, it has the same rhino icon that Din Djarin has on his armor. So pretty sick. Big fan of that. And my last thing that I really loved about Grogu from this season was when they rebuilt IG-12 into a mecha for him, and he was able to control him using the joysticks. And the best part of it was he had 2 voice buttons that said yes or no, and I think that is so great. The fact that he got to spam like yes, 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 it just speaks to knowing their audience. And I think as people who are perpetually online, myself included, just having that kind of button there for Grogu to press is just nice, and it adds to his character and his communication ability. I think it's just really nice. I think it was fun. I like mechas, so you know, it's cool. Another character that I really want to talk about that I think had a great character arc was Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan got to return in this season, and I think just her character arc throughout was kind of like the main driving force behind the season, to be honest. It really wasn't about Mando, it was really more about Bo-Katan, and I thought that was great. I think building up a side character is always great in any story, so you know me, I'm a fan of that. So I think the return in her character arc was just really nice. The fact that she was called in to go and rescue Mando when he got into trouble is nice. The fact that she got to see the legendary mythosaur, thought to be non-existent, like it's a myth, you know, that's why they call them mythosaurs, but the fact that she got to see one was super cool. The fact that going in to save Mando in those waters and seeing the mythosaur, she is now considered bathed in the water of Mandalore, and the fact that she didn't take off her helmet, so she is now redeemed and able to be assimilated into the cult, just as Din Djarin was also able to be re-assimilated. I think that's just really cool. The fact that the armor was okay with being able to choose her and understanding that she was kind of the linchpin key to reunited the Mandalorian clans, and giving her the autonomy to become that leader and grow into that position was really nice to see. And the fact that she was able to reclaim the dark saber after Din Djarin basically explained the situation of him losing it and then her defeating the person that took him, a la Elder Wand. So, you know, kind of the Elder Wand theory right there. But she's basically the rightful owner of the Darksaber again, and she wins her duel and reclaims her title as the lead of the Mandalorians. And I think that's awesome. I think it's great. During all of this kind of side questing development for Bo-Katan, we got to have some great cameos that popped into the series. This was all kind of like a little side quest arc that happened, and I really enjoyed it because I think the side quest arcs kind of make up like the Star Wars story. It doesn't really have to be about the main Skywalker arc or the main stories about those fools, you know what I mean? Like, you can build a Star Wars story about other things and other worlds, and I think this little side plot was just like a perfect example of just how well you can do that. Speaking of the side arc and the cameos within them, you had Jack Black, you had Lizzo, and you had Christopher Lloyd as the antagonist of that side arc. I think that is so great, the fact that they got to bring in such iconic people into this universe. And I thought it was really fun. I thought they were great. Other cameos that I thought that had slightly bigger parts in the season was Paul Sun-Hyung Lee, famous for Kim's Convenience, and of course coming up in the new Netflix adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender, he will be Uncle Iroh. And Tim Meadows. Tim Meadows to me is the guy from the Benchwarmers. If you've never watched the Benchwarmers, it is a goated movie. Back in the day, I watched that shit like so many times. Anyways, I just thought it was great that they brought in all of these cameos and famous people from Hollywood and brought them into the universe. I think it's just great. Who wouldn't want to be a part of the Star Wars universe? Because honestly, if I was offered a cameo in Star Wars, you know I'd be in that shit. Moving on to another pro that I thought was great was when the Mandalorian army just jumped into battle like every single time. They're just like hell jumpers. If any of you guys are Halo fans, Halo ODST, hell jumpers, that has been a core memory of mine. Like jumping feet first into hell. We hell jumpers, you know? And the Mandalorians kind of have like a really good image of that. Them just dropping out of airships or flying with their jetpacks, just dropping into battle. It's great. I thought that was really fun. The final battle between them and like the stormtroopers, an aerial battle of jetpacks. Like, how can you not enjoy that? I think it was great. Anyways, I thought it was really fun, pretty solid. Speaking of Mandalorians, shout out to Paz Vizsla. He had his little moment, had his scene there. This is the way. And of course, the last pro that I had for the season that I thought just really capped it all off was Grogu becoming Din Grogu. And if you don't know what that means, it means that Papa Mando is officially Papa Mando. So that's why Grogu has now adopted the name Din, because he is the son of Din Djarin. Great. Loved it. All right, let's get on to some cons that I had about the season. One was I felt really bad for the scientist who was working for Moff Gideon on cloning technologies and was one of the guys that was testing on Grogu in the early seasons. He kind of had his own little story arc here, and he ended up getting baited by another ex-Imperial officer and he got fried. So I felt really bad for him. That just sucks for the dude. I thought he was going on like a good character arc and then he got fried. So I just feel bad. It's kind of a con just because I feel bad for him. You know what I mean? The next con that I had was that the legendary Darksaber got absolutely obliterated. Like that thing just like, it doesn't even exist anymore. It got absolutely destroyed in the fight. So I mean, there's probably symbolization behind it. But like, bro, it's supposed to be a legendary weapon and it just got crushed. So I was pretty upset about that. I didn't think it was, And the last big con that I had was the plan that they had at the end of the day to destroy the base on Mandalore was crashing the ship straight down. Just that was the plan. And that's kind of just classic new Star Wars. If you've watched any of the recent movies, that's just classic new Star Wars. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not really the big fan of like that direction necessarily. I mean, it makes sense. Like, oh, how do you destroy a big base? Oh, just crash a big ass ship into it. Oh, that makes so much sense. Yeah. I mean, I get that, but like, come on, man. Anyways, score at the end of the day, I thought it was a good, solid 7 out of 10. Pretty good, but Grogu, still the GOAT. And if you enjoyed that, please don't forget to like and comment down below if Grogu is your GOAT, because he is mine. I'll catch you all next time. Stay hydrated. Peace.